Well, you guys, Long Haul Larry, and as you can tell behind me, I done gone bought something. Let's take a look at it. Well, guys, it is a 1975 Ford 4500. It's getting pretty close to my age, actually. This would have been in grade school when I was graduating high school. But it's an old one, but it works good. I got it for a really good price. I think I should have negotiated a little bit more on it, but it's fine. It runs really good. It does have a little bit of a noise. It has like a knocking noise in the rear end. I think it's just a bearing or something like that in the rear end. And it's fine. I mean, it's not like you're going to drive it long distances or something like that, just for around here. Eventually, I'll split the rear end apart. It's just a bunch of bolts right there on the rear end. And just got to take the tires off and then get a hoist on there and take all its bolts off, and each side comes off, and then you can find out. I think it's got a bearing in there that one of the shafts is just kunk, 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 but it's not very loud. It's not a big deal. Just for around here, we're going to be using it for clearing all these stumps and all this stuff out of here and pulling this stuff out. And then also, we're always looking around different land up here and stuff like that. If we find a new place, it'd be useful there. And also, a secondary thing too is we'll have it sitting back here. And this winter, everybody's talking up here about, they're saying that this winter is going to be a huge winter. And yes, we do have the snowblower, or the riding lawnmower with the snowblower attachment on it, and it'll clear snow and stuff. But if we get 5, 6, 8 feet of snow high around here, it's not going to do that much. So this would be nice to have to, once in a while, to fire it up and push the snow back and make piles back further, so the snowblower has a place to blow the snow too. So it's nice to have. She's in pretty rough shape. Tracy has come up with 2 names for it. She said Fred the Ford. And I was like, okay. But then she's come up with Pop. And I kind of like old Pop. And you know what Pop stands for? Pile of poop. She's pretty old. She's a rusty tractor, but hey, this is what I do. I can fix things up. And it runs real good and everything. It's just got some issues. One of the major issues is that ram right there is broken. You could see right there, that shaft right there, that's bent all up. It can't be straightened. It's hardened steel and everything. That cannot be straightened out. It'll never seal right. So it's going to have to be a new one. And I talked to a hydraulic place, and they gave me a quote on it. Wasn't too terrible. They'll have to machine a whole new piece and rebuild this whole thing. So I'm looking at that. Also, I got to get a tape measure out. Actually, let me go grab a tape measure. I was actually at Tractor Supply getting some hydraulic fluid and transmission fluid and everything for this thing. And the guy that I bought it off from, he bought a piece of property way out in the woods, and he picked this thing up, I guess, like 6 months ago. And they put it out there, and he used it a few times, and I guess he's the one who broke this ram. And he's not used it since. And he actually found a whole complete house, I guess, in a nearby town or something like that. And so he said he's not going to do anything with the land or something. So he was trying to just get the tractor off, and I think he's going to sell the land or something. So I did stop at a Tractor Supply, and I was getting that stuff, and I saw they had rams there, and they had a 4-inch ram, which I think this is probably a 4-inch ram. Yeah, that's a 4-inch. And but the thing is that it was a 24 inches long, and I just looked at this thing here, and this one is 32. So it's not going to work. So I'm going to have it rebuilt, because I can't have a 24-inch ram on one side and 32 on the other. That just won't work. So I'll get this one rebuilt. And plus, you know, being a newer one, it's probably not going to be as powerful as these, so it's probably not going to have the same strength, and it'd be kind of wonky. But so I'll just take this one off. I'm going to take this off today. It's pretty easy. The pins, you just got to take these bolts out and just pound the pin out, top one, and take the hoses off, and I'll take the ram in there, and they'll start working on it and get it fixed up. But so that's the big major problem with it. All the oil leaking all over the front of it there, that's all wet. That's from me spilling it, filling the hydraulic tank, because it leaks out of here a little bit. So it was pretty low on hydraulic fluid. And oops, trying to figure out where to put my tape measure. And it has this deal that lifts up here, and that's where you fill the hydraulic fluid. And trying to pour it in there, it's kind of hard. So I ended up spilling a lot of it, so that's why it's oil all over the place. But yeah, she's just an old rusty tractor. It's got some issues, things that are leaking. Looks like this seal is leaking on this ram. I don't know if I'll tackle that or not. It's not that big a deal. You just got to twist this off and then put a new seal in there. This hose could be leaking. Looks like it has some leaking hoses and stuff, like this one over here on the hydraulic system. You can see that's leaking, so I'll fix all these little things up in the future and stuff. Maybe give her a paint job and stuff. It doesn't have a windshield. It's gone. I was thinking I'll just get a piece of plexiglass or something. Maybe spend $75 on a piece of plexiglass, because it has no back window or a front window. So, you know, plexiglass is super expensive right now. But it's just an older tractor there. Tires are pretty good. Don't have no real big dry rot on them or nothing. I mean, they're all good and stuff. Good truck. And you can see I actually came in here, and the dreaded stump that made me wipe out my snow bike last year, I decided I was going to see if I could just hit that a little bit and see what it would do to the stump, because that stump's pretty rotten. I'm thinking it'll pull them right out. But I put it up against there and just put it in first gear, and she actually started digging down. I'll get that stump right out of there, but I didn't want to use the bucket and pry a lot on it, because with only one ram on it, I want to break the other one. So I'll get that ram fixed first. It does have a cut on the tire. I didn't see this till I got here. I didn't see this when I looked at it in the woods right there, but it's holding stuff. It'll be fine. It's for putzing around here. It's got this big old weight thing on the back. It's filled with concrete. It's like a 55-gallon plastic drum, and then they filled it with concrete and mounted it on there and stuff. This used to have a backhoe attachment onto it. These tractors would come and they had a big backhoe attachment that mounts on there. It doesn't have it on there. I'm actually going to look around and see if I can find one for this old tractor around here someplace or something, some close by. And if it's not a bad price, maybe I could find a backhoe attachment. Maybe in the future I'll build one. You know, get out the plasma cutter and welder, and I'll just make my own backhoe attachment. I don't know. We'll see. Not really worried about it right at this moment. Big thing is the bucket. That's what I need really a lot. She's got a couple leaking little things on her. I noticed on here by the oil filter, I don't know what this is, but there's like a little plastic cap screw down here. I don't know what this is for. Actually, it's just loose, but it kind of drips out of there, the oil, and kind of runs down the engine. That's what's leaking on there. But it's like a 4-speed hydrostatic. It's probably one of the first hydrostatics out there. But it has a 4-speed. You got first up here, then it's second, and then third, and then fourth up here. And then you got this lever here, and you push it forward, and that puts it into forward gear, whatever gear you choose, and then you can go into reverse. And you get the reverse gear, same thing. So it's kind of like a hydrostatic, but you pick your gear that kind of goes into it. And it's got the brakes down there. And then that's the gas pedal. You also have the gas lever up here. But that's a gas pedal, that black thing down there. And then that lever there, you step on that, and that locks both the rear axle. Otherwise, only one tire turns. But then if you push that down, then only one tire will turn. Or you push that down, it locks them in. You get what I mean. Steering is pretty sloppy. It's quite a bit of turning. It's almost a half a turn of steering wheel. And we unloaded it back down the road where there was an open spot, a big yard over there, and that's where it was unloaded, and I drove from there. Coming down the road, steering is pretty sloppy. But out in the grass and stuff, it's not a big deal. But I'll probably get some new pitman arms and stuff and fix some of that steering issue up. But it works fine for now. I'm just putzing around here. The guy that I bought it from, he said the front tires were junk, and he put those tires on. Those are actually like, I think like wagon tires, maybe even a car tire. Not really made for that. We'll probably use them. We'll see how they work out. I don't know if you pick up a bunch of big boulders or something. Might be a lot of weight on there. Might be not good for it. But we'll see how they squat and stuff. And might end up having to get some actual tractor tires on the front there. But it's just an old tractor. But she'll do what I want. But she runs good. We're fired up. Put it in neutral. Go, and let's see what it does. There she is. That's a low idle. It smokes a little bit of low idle, but when you give her some gas, then the smoke goes away. Sounds good though. I've checked the whole thing over and stuff. And it runs good and everything. It'll do what I need. I believe that it has a 3.1 liter diesel in it. It's either I think it's a 3-cylinder. I think that's what I saw online. 3.1 liter, or otherwise it's a 3.3 liter. I'm not really sure on that. I think the 3.3 is a gas. You can get in a gas version. And I think the 3.1, I think it was a 3.3 4-cylinder is a gas version. And the 3.1 is the diesel, and it's a 3-cylinder. I haven't really looked it over and everything, but it runs good and everything. But, if I need to work on it, it is a very simple engine. I mean, it's all mechanical. It's got the old butterfly fuel pump on there and stuff. I mean, real simple stuff to work on. So, any problems with it, I'll be able to tackle this, no problem. Fix anything up. But, basically right now, probably what I'll be doing is probably getting some windshields put on there for winter time, so don't have a bunch of blowing snow on you and stuff. And then I'll fix up that ram up in the front there, take that off today and drop it off at the hydraulics place tomorrow, and they can rebuild it and get it working good. And then I can start hitting some of these stumps and hey, I mean, this thing's like kind of like an automatic. There's no clutch for it and everything. I mean, probably John over at JBG Travels would be able to actually drive this thing. But Tracy, she'll be able to knock it out. And she'll be able to use it and everything. And we can work out here and get this yard all cleaned up and get some of this leveled off and just get it to a nice yard and everything. So this will help a lot. I mean, I was thinking about hiring a guy with a skid loader to come out here and do a lot of this work and stuff. I mean, you could rent a skid loader. I figure we could rent one. I was going to try to teach Tracy how to use it, but I mean, that would have probably cost me about $1,000 to do that, because I mean, I would have needed it for probably 2 or 3 days. Because there's a lot of clearing back here and stuff. But then also I want to build a driveway here, coming alongside of our garage, coming back towards a shed. And eventually I'm going to build a pole barn back here, and that'll be the driveway coming into it. I want to have a gravel. I'm going to get some bigger rock brought in here and dumped in. And so I would have needed that to spread all that out. Well, now we got the tractor, we can use that. And just a lot of different things it can be used for. So, I mean, the first things I'll probably do is I'll fix the ram. The little leaks and stuff, I'm not really too worried about. Make sure that the engine block heater is working properly, because I'll need that this winter. And then probably put a windshield on it. And really, that's about it for right now. Eventually, I'm going to split the rear end, find out if there's a bearing or something going out in it, fix that up, whatever, and I'll start tackling all the hoses and fix this thing up. Maybe I'll sand her down and put a new paint job on her, maybe build a backhoe attachment for it. But hey, I mean, it was just a cheap little tractor I found on Marketplace and picked it up, and now here we go. Now we got our own tractor up here. So it's not a bad little tractor. It'll run forever. These things are made good, you know, in the old days. So this thing will work. So there you go. So I think it's going to be Pop. We'll call her Old Pop. But Pop stands for pile of poop. I thought that was pretty funny, actually. Oh, right there's the block heater. It's actually not a block heater. It's right here in, I don't even know if it has the plug on it. If I got ripped off. Looks like it goes down here. It's stuck. There it is. The plug is on it. I can plug it in, see if it gets warm. It's in the coolant line. It's right there. Those are pretty easy. I can order one of those, pretty cheap. Probably should pull the air cleaner apart, see how bad that is. But nice little tractor. Cheap price. She'll do what I need. It's got a good sized bucket on it. So that thing will rip these stumps out of here. Most of these stumps are rotten anyways, and get all these big rocks and all that stuff out. So it'll be good. It'll work what I need it for. So I'll be ripping the ram off today. Take that to the hydraulic place. They'll rebuild it for me. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Looks like the seal over on this side is leaking a little too. It's really nothing big. I mean, if I was using it all the time, yeah. Not really too worried about that though. That can be fixed though. I mean, it's just like right here. You just pull the pin out, drop the ram down, and unscrew that. Put a new seal in there. Not that big a deal. But yeah, it's a nice little old tractor. So there you go. Picked myself up a new tractor. It's old Pop here. So I hope that everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night watching this here video. And if they're not, well, certainly try that all over again tomorrow. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.